Lovely good evening to you all tuned in to Camnet Television Main News. To present Camnet Television Main News, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. The top stories in the news tonight: CHIBOLYA criminals fight running battles with police officers. 250 bags of suspected fake fertilizer impounded in LUWINGU district. Government facilitates temporary relocation of 77 Zambians from Israel. In international news, Liberia's tight election spurs runoff expectations. And in sports news, Green Buffaloes hammer Green Eagles by 2-0 at Edwin IMPOUNDED Stadium. More coming up after this short break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RENGLOW, your smart irrigation partner.
Hello again, the news in detail. Police officers in Lusaka have fought running battles with gangs popularly known as junkies in Lusaka's CHIBOLYA compound. A check in the area by Camnet News found police officers hunting for the criminal gangs as they tried to calm the intense situation. According to some residents spoken to, the criminal activities have intensified after one of the rival groups had their members killed. The residents have since bemoaned the continued poor security situation in the compound, wondering why authorities have paid a deaf ear. More in this report.
The Zambia police had to patrol some parts of Lusaka's CHIBOLYA compound Friday morning after criminal gangs popular as junkies went on rampage grabbing properties from members of the public. According to the residents, many of whom shunned the camera, says the situation was instigated by the death of a gang member of one of the groups who later went on riot. Those who spoke on camera have lamented over the insecurity in the compound, accusing the police of failure to address the situation.
Let the government do something about this, especially security wise. Nothing. Takurima patrols, kuribe. No patrols. But the very voice of Melwanga Chite. A police home can look at themselves a police.
Zambia Police Service Assistant Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chirabi has confirmed the service had an operation in the compound.
We received the report as police that there were some confusions, the violence taking place there. So quickly we dispatched our officers to CHIBOLYA compound, and indeed there were some skirmishes between two faction groups of suspected junkies, and the reason for that there is one suspected junkie who was allegedly killed by the other group of junkies. So that's what that violence was about. But quickly we moved in as police and managed to calm the situation. As at now, this has returned to CHIBOLYA, and we are closely monitoring the situation.
CHIBOLYA compound is historically infamous for criminal activities, and efforts continue to be made to resolve the matter, with several raids on drug lords and gang leaders having been conducted over the years. Regardless, such occurrences may indicate that more needs to be done or change of strategy. For Camnet TV News, Afyes Kaptula, Lusaka.
250 bags of suspected fake fertilizer have been impounded by the police in LUWINGU district of Northern Province. Preliminary investigations have revealed that the occupants of the truck were sent by the owner of the vehicle, who is a resident of EMBOELA district in Northern Province, to collect the bags of fertilizer from a man only known as Mr. Luswepo, a resident of Lusaka. When contacted over the matter, Mr. Luswepo produced a receipt of the products he bought from Lusaka Healthcare Shop. And LUWINGU District Commissioner Chomba Chileshe has since urged farmers to be wary of unscrupulous scammers who are meant to frustrate government's efforts of scamming them. More in the following report.
A truck suspected to be carrying fake fertilizer has been impounded by the police in Luwingu district of Northern Province. Scania truck bearing registration number BAZ 4608 was laden with 250 by 50 bags of fertilizer, was impounded by police on October 7, 2023 around 19 hours at the Luwingu Kasama checkpoint. The fertilizer in question is branded NPK Grenco and NPK Power Plant respectively. A check on some of the impounded fertilizer at the police station in Luwingu indicate the products expired in December 2022. Investigations into the matter so far have revealed that the occupants of the truck were sent by the owner of the vehicle, who is a resident of Mbara district in Northern Province, to collect the commodity from a man only known as Mr. Ruswepo of Lusaka. Reacting to the development, Luwingu District Commissioner Chomba Chireshe has urged farmers to be aware of scammers as the rain season intensifies.
We have involved all the relevant authorities, especially the Misanfu institution, to come and take the sample so that they can go and examine. But according to the preliminary investigation, the officer who came to take some samples assured that truly it is a counterfeit fertilizer. Now, it is a danger to the public and also to the farmers in the district. So we need to be alert that the scrupulous dealers are taking advantage of our farmers, because they know that our farmers, they want to have enough fertilizer for them to cultivate the big part of their farms.
Mr. Chireshe has attributed the invasion of suspected scammers in production of fertilizer to the lucrative business of the product.
Are below the required amount of nutrients in the fertilizer that is being produced by these recognized companies. So the danger can destroy their potential to have the high yield. So they have to be alert. For them to access the good quality or the good fertilizer, they need to ask the agriculture, who is the DACO.
Meanwhile, the driver and other individuals involved have been released on bond, while the Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency, MISEF Research Institute in Kasama, and the Minister of Agriculture have been engaged for expert examination on the Compound D and urea fertilizer bags that have been impounded. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula.
Government has facilitated the voluntary temporal relocation of 77 Zambians from Israel. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Stanley Kakubo has disclosed that the relocated Zambians include 72 students. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka today, the minister has also revealed that there are 172 non-Zambians in Israel, out of which 143 students are pursuing their studies. Mr. Kakubo has assured the public that there are no casualties among the Zambian community in Israel. He has since invited relatives of Zambians in Israel for a meeting at the ministry's headquarters to consult on how the process can be done efficiently.
There are 172 non-Zambians in Israel, out of which 143 are pursuing their studies in various cities. The remaining number constitutes members of the Zambian community who have settled there, and also officials from the Zambian mission who are our diplomats. So following the regrettable developments, the government decided to take the course of action in order to ensure that Zambians who have shown willingness to return home are assisted. Therefore, as of today, Thursday, 19th October 2023, the government has successfully facilitated the voluntary reallocation of 77 Zambians who were willing to return home. These include 72 students and 5 others. The exercise is being coordinated by the relevant government machinery, and we would like to assure the public that every effort is being made to ensure the safety of our nationals as well as our diplomats and their families. I also wish to note that owing to the efforts of government, the efficient and professional response of our embassy in Tel Aviv, working in collaboration with the Israeli government, there are no casualties among the Zambian community that has been reported. So for emphasis, no casualties, no injuries, and no deaths. Also want to make an appeal here that we are inviting parents and guardians and close relations of the Zambian nationals who are in Israel for a meeting here at Charter House.
The Zambia Social Forum has called on all members of the public not to shun from participating in developmental issues, as it is the only way the citizens can play a part in improving their communities. Speaking at the 11th edition of the Zambia Social Forum held in Lusaka Friday morning, ZAMSOF National Coordinator Geshom Kabaso says the forum aims to equip community members with knowledge on how to participate in development programs of the country, among them budget formulation. Meanwhile, one of the community members, Liando Mwene, says through the knowledge acquired from the forum, she has been able to teach her fellow youths on how to participate in governance and developmental issues. More in this report.
These are community members drawn from different parts of Lusaka who Friday morning gathered at the Civic Center for the 11th edition of the Zambia Social Forum, a platform where community members are taught how to be part of the development of the country. During the forum, ZAMSOF Youth Connect initiative has also been launched to allow many youths in the district participate in the decision-making process. One of the youths, Liando Mwene, who has been part of ZAMSOF for 6 years, now explains the benefit of the program.
I'm actually participating in a discussion or a breakaway session that's talking about inclusiveness in governance, and I'm happy to actually see that we're having people who are coming out and talking about, you know, the importance of inclusiveness, even in terms of language. It's very rare to find people using languages like Nyanja or Bembo on big forums, but I'm happy to see that happening here because we're actually having more people coming out freely and speaking about the issues that affect them and the ideas that they think can be implemented.
This has actually helped the community to come up with things of whereby they can be able to hear their voices out, not really not knowing that this kind of the CBG is not only for only us who are coming here, but we are the people who are speaking. We are like the voices to the people who have remained in the community.
Meanwhile, Zambia Council for Social Development Board Chairperson Jacob Makambwe, who was present at the meeting, has encouraged young people not to shun away from programs that promote them to participate in the development of the country.
Initiatives and projects we are embracing or embarking on, including the transformative Beyond the Numbers project, which is a project that brings the budget closer to the people, is actually a reflect or shared commitment to empowering communities and promoting accountability in governance.
Our 8th National Development Plan can tell us that agriculture is a priority, education is a priority, energy is a priority, but I think we need to match it with the budget. We need to match it with the money. The money that we allocate to the different sectors is what tells us as a country that this is our priority.
Meanwhile, Lusaka Mayor Chilando Chitangala, who was represented by the John Leng Councillor, is happy to see initiatives such as ZAMSOF that are helping community members be part of the decision-making process.
And to all our participants, stakeholders, and community members in attendance, your presence reflects your active engagement in shaping the destiny of our city. It is our commitment to making a difference that drives us forward and propels us towards a brighter future.
Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Vice President Mutale Nalumango has disclosed that government is working tirelessly to ensure citizens have access to affordable mealie meal in the country. Speaking during the Vice President's question time Friday, Mrs. Nalumango says the use of the Zambia National Service (ZNS) in the milling sector is key in stabilizing the price of the staple food in the country. The Vice President was responding to Mumpongwe Member of Parliament Gregory Ngowabi, who wanted to find out what long-term measures government was using to lower the price of mealie meal in the country.
Farmers are enjoying the good price of maize. However, there's a public outcry over the price of mealie meal. What message do you have to such Zambians?
The mitigation that your government is putting in place to try and see the prices come down to some level of affordability in the country. It may not be 100% satisfactory, but this is where we are when we have allowed the National Service to mill and sell at some reasonable, price. Your government is working, Honorable Member from Pongwe, to see that our people can access mealie meal, which is not too expensive.
Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbo has disclosed that government intends to make animal stock theft a non-bailable offence through a stock theft bill which will be presented before the National Assembly. Mr. Mwimbo says this follows increasing cases of theft of domestic animals in the country, which have continued being on the rise. Meanwhile, the Home Affairs Minister says one suspect alleged to be connected to the death of 2 businessmen in Mumba district has been arrested, while 7 others have been convicted for various riotous offences. President Hakainde Hichilema says his government is focused on securing Zambia's energy generation and export the surplus. The head of state says he is therefore keen on strong partnerships between Zambia and the regional investors to develop energy projects in Zambia and Africa. President Hichilema has equally encouraged Zambian entities to participate in joint venture investments in local mining, emphasizing value addition to accelerate economic development. The president said this at State House Friday morning when he met with Rustam Azizi, the chairman of Tanzania's Taifa Group. And in response, Mr. Azizi says President Hichilema's invitation is a challenge to African investors to bring capital to Zambia, and that he will be extending his network to bring other businesses to Zambia to explore the many opportunities the country offers, working in partnership with the local Zambian investors that are already putting money in the economy. Taifa Group, through its subsidiary Taifa Gas Limited, recently announced its first joint venture investment with Zambian entity Delta Marimba to develop a 100 megawatts gas-powered generation plant in Kasama district of Northern Province. And Delta Marimba chairman Padmo Muleya has disclosed that preliminary work on the liquefied petroleum gas project is progressing well, and that the government was fully supportive of the project to ensure that it comes online within the next 24 months. Opposition National Democratic Congress leader Savoy EMBOELA has failed to proceed with her defense due to non-availability of her defense counsel in a case she is facing libel allegations against State House Chief Communications Specialist Clayson Hamasaka. The accused, who is facing libel allegations before the Lusaka Magistrates Court, asked Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya to move her case to another date because her lawyer traveled to South Africa. Ms. EMBOELA is accused of issuing derogatory remarks against Mr. Hamasaka by alleging that he is corrupt and takes advantage of vulnerable women who seek employment in the UPND. More in this report.
Outspoken opposition leader Savoy EMBOELA has asked the Lusaka Subordinate Court this morning, Friday, 20th October 2023, to have a criminal case moved to another date because a lawyer traveled to South Africa. The female opposition leader of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, is standing trial on 2 counts of libel charges. She pleaded not guilty to the allegations and was placed on defense in August this year after Lusaka Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya found her with a case to answer. This morning, a case was set to come up for continuation of trial. However, due to the non-availability of a lawyer, the court was forced to give the case an early adjournment. The state has slapped the opposition leader 2 counts of libel, contrary to Section 191 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. She's alleged to have, on the 9th of September 2023, published defamatory matters against State House Chief Communications Specialist Clayson Hamasaka on her Facebook, alleging that Mr. Hamasaka was developing his farm using corrupt means and is a ghost taking advantage of women who were seeking jobs under the UPND administration. She is further accused of stating that Mr. Hamasaka was caught committing adultery by the wife. but during her defense in the previous sitting, the accused claimed that the before court did not refer to the Mr. Hamasaka State House, but someone else. She also told Magistrate Muninya that she plans to present 5 individuals from the UPND bearing the names of Hamasaka to support her defense, and will also show the National Registration Card NRC as proof. She's expected to appear before court on the 17th of November 2023 for her continued defense. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The opposition Patriotic Front presidential aspirant Emmanuel Mwamba has sued seeking damages for assault. According to a petition filed before the court, Mr. Mwamba claims to have been tortured by Zambia police officers on the 14th of June 2023 after he was apprehended in Woodlands area. He submits that on the material day, Stephen Simwenda, Brian Chipango and Joseph Kapasa, all officers of the Zambia police, without introducing themselves, requested that he accompany them at the force headquarters for an interview. Mr. Mwamba claims in his petition that he was restrained from calling his lawyers or family members to be present for the said interview. He tells court that one of the officers aggressively confiscated his phone, while the other twisted his right arm for several minutes, and he was grabbed by the neck, thereby inflicting pain on him. The former ambassador has further alleged that he was denied access to medical attention for his injuries. He now seeks a declaration that the conduct by the police is assault, torture, and that he was manhandled contrary to Section 15 of the Constitution. The plaintiff wants to be awarded damages for mental and emotional stress. We'll take a break. Join us for more news after the break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Kalavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration, or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Water is life. Each drop counts, and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RainGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Are you planning to marry or get married? Contact the Camnet Media team for a professional capturing of your big day in life. Let your relatives, friends, and the nation join you in celebrating your big day on television. Just at a manageable fee, Camnet Television will cover and transmit your wedding on your channel of choice. Contact the marketing department on mobile number. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
I give my love to heaven home and as far.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. The ruling United Party for National Development, UPND National Trustee Grace Chivube has dispelled assertions that Republican President Hakainde Hichilema has failed to govern the country due to the high cost of living currently prevailing. Mrs. Chivube says those alleging that President Hichilema has failed are just politicking in order to make a name. She says Zambians voted for the head of state to govern for 5 years, and it is unsubstantiated to judge the president when he has not finished his tenure of office.
Our colleagues in politics, those vuvuzelas, those who store money from you people, so Mazambians pamene vanavota vanapasa 5 years to UPND, 5 years. So kukangiwa muntu ni kumuberengera kuti 5 years yako yakwana chasosi unachichita na chasosi unachichite. Ba HH and UPND mma campaigns banapromisa kuti hii state kangena mupawa tisakaleta free education. Aya malaiti amene muvutika 3 weeks anaenda chabe malaiti 2 weeks bantu banaleka mweze kulila kukamba kuti ife ntchito yathu tisebenzanise makapenta tichitava so whatever masaluni benze kulila bantu mweze kubaona. Why? Because load shedding inapitidila. But HH vonse for anafisiliza. This HH wamene mukamba too much. Nichamene mwaonela kuti bantu balila abo bamene balila niba jamene banatenga ndalama zanu kifukwa mose mujabenze kutenga ndalama banagwiramo bamangamo bafaka mabauti.
Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary Administration Mambo Hamaundu has called for the inclusion of proper garbage disposal in the fight against climate change. Speaking during a tree planting exercise at CHIBOLYA Combined School in Lusaka, Mr. Hamaundu notes that indiscriminate waste disposal, especially that of plastic, remains a challenge. Mr. Hamaundu has since hailed the school for joining efforts of alleviating climate change. Meanwhile, Mr. Hamaundu says the ministry will intensify cleaning of markets in the light of the cholera outbreak. More in the following report.
The impact of climate change on people's lives is visible today more than ever as droughts and floods have become frequent. In contributing to efforts of reversing the negative impacts of climate change, CHIBOLYA Combined School of Lusaka has held a tree planting exercise as part of the wider activity marking the Independence Week. Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary Administration Mambo Hamaundu officiated at the event with a call of incorporating proper waste disposal in the fight against climate change.
The environment is also not just about planting trees. We must also practice proper management of our garbage. Osatama plastiki mumifolo pa skulu pano, osatama plastic mumifolo kumanyumba kwatu, vonse kastela machani mumabini, so that vakanso na wenangu yanange na nchitoyo tenga mabini wabwera wanyamula mabini bwino. That is part of protecting the environment.
Meanwhile, Mr. Hamaundu discloses that the ministry is intensifying cleaning of markets in light of cholera outbreak, which has been recorded in Lusaka to curtail the spread of the disease.
We need to heighten activities around that. And let me also take this opportunity really just to appeal to the members of the public generally to take care of ourselves in terms of ensuring that our environments remain sanitary. We ensure that our environments are clean. Let us do the basics. Let us boil our drinking water. Let our water be chlorinated.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Ministry of Community Development has acknowledged that the media is instrumental towards effective implementation of the Social Cash Transfer Program. Ministry of Community Development and Social Services Director, Social Welfare Department Nelson Nyangu says the media is key in informing the public on the impact of the Social Cash Transfer Program to beneficiaries and the country in general. Speaking when he officiated at the ministry's media engagement in Lusaka Friday, Mr. Nyangu assured that the ministry will have an open door policy to ensure that concerns about the program are adequately resolved.
The payments are made each time, which is online payment. We want to minimize the interaction between monies, exchanging hands over the table. We've been doing this for a long time because of the nature of our state of development, but we have realized that since everyone is going digital, it will be more cost effective and actually safe to be paying most of these transfers for the beneficiaries digitally. So that's the focus that we're on now. We are still doing some groundwork to ensure that a number of payment service providers are onboarded and that the data for people that were supposed to pay is validated and we're able to use it to pay digitally and avoid paying through the rural mode. It is also emphasized from what we are doing here, which I've mentioned, that the media engagement organization, which will help us to enhance the credibility and integrity of the information that is being disseminated.
We'll take our final break. Join us for international sports news after the break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Are you planning to marry or get married? Contact the Camnet Media team for a professional capturing of your big day in life. Let your relatives, friends, and the nation join you in celebrating your big day on television. Just at a manageable fee, Camnet Television will cover and transmit your wedding on your channel of choice. Contact the marketing department on mobile number. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
I give my love to having home and as far.
Welcome back. And now in foreign news, Liberia's primary opposition candidate Joseph Boakai is actively engaging smaller political parties as the nation anticipates a likely runoff against the incumbent George Weah. As provisional results from 99.5% of the 5,890 polling stations are revealed, it's evident that the two candidates are in a virtual dead heat following the elections held on October 10. Mr. Weah currently holds 43.8% of the vote, with Mr. Boakai closely trailing at 43.5%. Here's a roundup of international news.
Liberia's primary opposition candidate Joseph Boakai is actively engaging smaller political parties as the nation anticipates a likely runoff against incumbent George Weah. As the provisional result of 99.5% of the 5,819 polling stations are reviewed, it's evident that the two candidates are in a virtual dead heat following the elections held on October 10. Mr. Weah currently holds 43.8% of the vote, with Mr. Boakai closely trailing at 43.5%. This close contest suggests that neither candidate is poised to secure the required majority of over 50% of an outcry victory. In certain regions of Sinoy, Nimba and Montserrado counties, voting is being repeated due to allegations of ballot tampering. Nevertheless, these revotes are likely to substantially influence the overall presidential election outcome. As reported by local media, the Election Commission also confirmed the arrest of 9 temporary staff members in connection with the alleged ballot tampering.
Finally, a place of rest. A rare moment of peace for this little girl, one of more than 1 million Palestinians forced from their homes as Israel bombards the Gaza Strip. Some families have found shelter at a makeshift camp in the southern city of Khan Yunis. Huda Arafat was injured when an Israeli missile hit her home. She was inside at the time. One of her daughters was killed.
Look at these children. They, like me, have been injured. We were pulled from the rubble. How are we at fault? My home collapsed on me, same with my daughters. And we came here to live in tents, humiliated. We don't have water, food or anything. We fled with only the clothes we were wearing.
Those with a roof over their heads are the lucky ones. The United Nations Relief and Works Agency has put up 120 tents in Khan Yunis, but it's nowhere near enough and offers no protection from the ongoing airstrikes.
We now live like our ancestors in 1948, were displaced from our homes, just like them, were living in tents. Oh world, have mercy on us, we're tired, we want a truce. What does Israel want? We're displaced from our homes, what more do they want?
Israel is carrying out its heaviest bombing campaign ever on Gaza, more intense than any of the previous wars. Its army is determined to root out Hamas fighters after the armed group attacked southern Israel 2 weeks ago, killing 1,400 Israelis. Israel has also imposed a total blockade on Gaza, cutting off imports of water, food and fuel. It's further worsened conditions in the besieged enclave, where most of the population is dependent on humanitarian aid.
Entire residential blocks have been hit 2 or 3 times a day. In each strike, 4 or 5 houses collapse and 40 to 50 people are killed every time. We left our houses and went to UN schools, where thousands of people were crowded into 7 schools and 1 clinic. But even those schools were not safe.
A week ago, the Israeli army issued a mass evacuation order of 1.1 million Palestinians living in the north of the enclave ahead of a major ground offensive. But even in the southern Gaza Strip, where Israeli authorities told people to move for their own protection, it's not safe.
Now, sports news tonight. Green Buffaloes Football Club has humbled Green Eagles by 2-0 in the MTN Super League Week 8 fixture at a match played at Edwin EMBOELA Stadium Friday afternoon. George Ngoma put Green Buffaloes in the lead in the 38th minute, shortly after the referee allowed the match to commence after having stopped play due to a head-on collision between John Kosamu and Warren Kunda. Luck came for Buffaloes in the 79th minute when Gordon Mashata doubled the lead for Green Eagles to put the team in the lead. To end Camnet television news, the top stories once again. CHIBOLYA criminals fight running battles with police officers. 250 bags of suspected fake fertilizer impounded in LUWINGU district. Government facilitates temporary relocation of 77 Zambians from Israel. In international news, Liberia's tight election spurs runoff expectations. In sports news, Green Buffaloes hammer Green Eagles by 2-0 at Edwin EMBOELA Stadium. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Isaiah 49, verse 1. Before I was born, the Lord called me. From my mother's womb, He has spoken my name. Once again, thank you for watching Camnet News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.